One recording. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Liqour Run Podcast. It's me, your unofficial host, JC. Who else do we have in the house today? We got the lovely, as always, M.
Hey, everybody. I love comics, anime, and shopping on QVC.
And, of course, we got Big D in the house.
Hello, everyone. Sports and more sports. Get at me.
So stuff we're not going to talk about.
This is a nerd podcast.
This is a nerd podcast.
I'm
a geek podcast. Man, we are not talking about sports. So welcome to the Liqour Run Podcast. Well, we don't run for liquor because we've already done that before the podcast started. Can we get a clang on the liquor for the podcast?
Cheers.
Nice. Big D is over here with the lame Diet Dr. Pepper.
It's diet at that. Who drinks that?
The drinks of champions. That's what.
I want to do this second, but let's do it first. What are you drinking, Em?
All right. So I started off the night with. What did I start off the night with? I don't even know. It was the drink made by the one and only John.
Okay, I was in the liquor store. I hadn't been in a liquor store in quite a while. And I saw Seagram's had vodka. And I know Seagram's is not premium anything, but I was in a rush because I was at the beach all day and I was hot and I was delirious. And I was like, ooh, this is an interesting bottle. So we start off with a little Seagram's vodka.
Yeah.
Which, as far as vodka goes, it ain't the best. It's not the worst.
Of course not. Extra smooth means extra hair on your chest, extra burn.
Which I already had hair, so my hair didn't fall out. So
You don't want girls with hair on the chest.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Get that waxed off. It's
Unless
okay.
it's that Brazilian baby hair. I can deal with that little Brazilian, because Brazilians, they don't see it, but it's like got that little blonde, little fine
it like
baby.
Peach fuzz?
Yeah, it's like peach fuzz all over their body. Like, it's, you see them glistening in little photo
Okay,
shoots.
back to what we're drinking.
Oh, yeah, back to what we're
There
drinking.
are girls who have the hairs on their nipples that are like when you like.
Back to what we were drinking.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I've made a
I'll
full
never forget
circle back to my usual. I have my apple martini. After the vodka, I drank what I thought was an apple martini because I was already drunk anyway. But it turned out to be lime something or other.
And that's
but
why
anyway.
that's why, campers, you do not drink pre-made liquor. I've been drinking grapefruit and vodka with a little splash of lime juice.
I also have one of those.
Which he has been babysitting.
It's
like half water.
Like you could be on the Disney Channel right now in the Babysitters Club. Like, it's just ridiculous. So, Liqour Run Podcast. We're going to talk about good geek topics. And Devin put this on the docket. Pop culture entertainment news. Something I really don't give two flying pigs on a stick about. But Big D wanted it, so take it away.
Pork on a stick is very good. It's almost fair season.
Ooh, but it is fair season back in Dallas. I can't wait to get back to Dallas so I can get some fried beer, some fried Kool-Aid, and fried everything. But go ahead, Big D.
Speaking of fried, I saw a picture this week of skinny Rick Ross, and it really it was a transformation.
Why is that speaking of fried?
Because apparently he's no longer into the friedness, and it was jarring, but shouts out to Rick Ross on his skinniness. That's all I really got.
So Rick Ross is an ex-prison guard he's an ex-prison guard who took all the stories of actual criminals and pretended to be a criminal, even though technically he was a law enforcement officer. And he was sued by the real drug dealer who's incarcerated for life, Rick Ross, for stealing his identity and pretending to be one in a rapper.
Not too well, because Rick Ross is still making bank.
There is a lawsuit pending.
Yeah, until he made that song about subliminally raping a woman. But.
Well, Rick Ross, he offended a big part of the real Rick Ross's gang contingent, and I know on the West Coast at least, they've killed or attempted to kill a lot of his entourage, and he's not allowed on the West Coast.
But he's MIA, so that's all that matters.
Well, our collective cousin is in love with Rick Ross, but she likes fat Rick Ross, so I think she's probably really devastated right now.
Shouts out to the dudes representing for the big niggas out here. I mean, we've lost Rick Ross, but I mean, I'll carry the torch for us.
Man, the last big rapper I was a fan of was Big Pun two, Big Pun and
who's that?
Notorious B.I.G.
Oh, that's the Notorious guy from the movie.
No, Notorious B.I.G. and Big Punisher are two different rappers.
Yeah, Big Pun made that video that was all animated.
I ain't a player like that, but I like to crush a lot. Punisher, Big Punisher. Well, let's not get sued for copyright. So Any other entertainment news that you want to get into? Because I could give less than a flip about famous people. I used to bootleg music all the time because if you're going to rap about how you got the price of a mansion around your neck and wrist, I don't feel bad about downloading your CD and profiting from it.
Right, because you're stupid. Because nobody pays the MSRP for anything.
Right.
I don't know what that means.
Well, as someone who bought an engagement ring,
retail price,
and the engagement fell through, and I had to sell the ring, I didn't get 20% of what I paid for. So
can we talk about the positive that you got the ring back? Because these hoes ain't loyal, and they're ridiculous.
I did get my ring back, and I do have a piece of advice for all of y'all buying jewelry out there. Go to a jewelry wholesaler. I found a nice old school kosher Jewish gentleman, and I don't mean that as a racial epithet. I mean he had the yarmulke and everything. He's from Israel.
Jacob?
No, not Jacob, but I mean he clued me into the game. He gave me a fair price. I gave him my GIA certification for the ring, and put it like this: if you need a ring, you need jewelry, I got a guy in Dallas to hook you up with wholesale. Something that in the store will cost you $10,000, my man can hook you up for $3,000.
I'm not buying a ring because you can't put a saddle on this Bronco.
All right, so that's an excellent segue to get off this topic.
Speaking of saddling this Bronco, can we talk about ladies and their plot to trick men out here?
Plot trick men into doing what?
With their Spanx, with their makeup, with their what's the word we were talking about? A holster top? What did you just say? What was the pre-podcast? What was the term you used?
No, I am the token lady on the show, so I'll go ahead and...
Bustier? Was that the word you used?
No, I'm currently wearing a corset.
Yes, the boob lifters.
Actually, no, it's not a boob lifter. It's more like a tummy tucker.
It's like a waist reduction.
Yes.
I just remember all the scenes.
It automatically makes me like 2 inches smaller in my waist. It's not a ploy to trick me, it's just to help me out a little bit with my waist. I'm currently a mom of a 4-year-old. I didn't gain my baby weight until she was almost 3. Go figure. I went from a size 6 to about a 8, 10-ish. And to help me out, I have a gym membership. I work out.
She's like 3 feet tall, so...
I'm 4'11" and a half.
Are you really that tall?
Thank you.
I didn't know you were
I am
that tall.
5'3" with heels on.
Damn.
But due to age...
Touching the stratosphere.
And the clock is ticking. I can no longer wear the 5.5,
clock
6
is ticking.
inch
You are not even 30 yet. What
it doesn't matter.
About?
When you have a kid, you automatically get like plus 5 years on you. It doesn't matter.
I don't care what women wear. The only thing I have an issue with is butt pads.
No, and see, I don't wear those.
I think that's just
I have
a
a friend who does wear the butt pads.
See, a man wants to know the truth. We can live with the truth.
It's so not fair, ladies. It's not fair.
They have man spanks. They're called Manx. I just made that up.
Who wears them?
But they have them.
Do you know any dudes that wear? I don't know any dudes that wear Spanx.
What's the dude with the late night talk show?
What dude would tell you that he
not
wears
Colin,
Spanx?
not the Jimmy. Who's the other dude that used to be on the Comedy Central show, the Man Show?
Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel wears Spanx.
He's not a real nigga though. Sorry, I might say it in the word.
Yeah, drop the N-word, man. But yeah, Jimmy Kimmel wears Spanx, and yeah, I don't care about that.
What dudes do you know that you fuck with on a regular basis that wear Spanx? I don't know any. If you wake up
because
with a lady,
they're not gonna tell you,
and she looks completely different from when you went to sleep.
The only reason I even mentioned the corset is because I've been drinking one, and it's quite uncomfortable.
It's not fair, ladies.
My best friend, like, you know, we closer than 2 dudes, like we like brothers and everything, and we don't share that level of information. Like I really. Yeah, I would really feel uncomfortable if a dude felt that comfortable with me to tell me.
Yeah, man, these Spanx are really itching right now.
I'd be like, dude, if you need to like find another set of friends. So,
ladies, whatever inches you have, where they be around your waist or what, let it flow. Any real dude will embrace those inches.
Ladies, honestly, if you want to change it for yourself, and I do this for myself because my man loves me, no matter how many inches, extra pounds, whatever. But if you want to do it for yourself, then do it. It's the alternative to lipo. Okay? And if you love fried foods like I do and french fries, then you're going to need a little extra help. And especially if you've had a child, a tiny human, they tend to slow down your metabolism, believe it or not. That's what happens.
Well, I'll tell you as a dude, I've lost, in the past year, I've lost 32 pounds.
Shouts out.
And I didn't exercise. Not at all. All I did was I stopped drinking soda. and I stopped eating fast food. Like I ate only 10% of the fast food I was doing, and it did two things. Number one, it kept money in my bank account because
out here.
It's expensive. I mean, you got to think about it. Like a meal deal, you'll spend $7-8 a pop. So you like if you eat like lunch at work out, and then you grab something to eat on the way home. Man, you spent $14 to $20 a day, and you do that 5 days a week, and then you go out on the weekend. Man, you've messed around and you've spent like $120, let alone if you're actually dating and you got to, you decide to pay for woman's stuff. Man, you mess around, that's $200-300. You're just spending a car note in French fries and calories. So
2 for 20, ladies. 2 for 20.
Well, if you're a real person who loves French fries and calories, I call them delicious points. Then you might want something like a corset to help you out. The price of beauty is pain to some extent. And I can honestly say that this professional grade corset that I bought from a retailer online, it actually clinically it's proven to help you lose at least 2 inches if you wear it for a month. Consistency is key. I work out at the same time. I try to watch my weight and my diet. I don't do anything unrealistic. Like cutting out fried foods and sodas for me is completely unrealistic. I'm not going to just quit cold turkey. So I might cheat like maybe 2 to 3 days a week. But the corset keeps me intact. It keeps me firm. When I take it off, I'm like, wow.
All I'm saying is
awesome.
I want a little something to hang on to.
Of course. And I'm a size 7. I'm an 7'8" right now. So it's not like I'm too skinny. Really big, it's like average. Average might be like a 10 or a 12.
My ex was a 16, and she got down to a 13 after being with me.
Is that code?
Hey, I upgrade them, man.
You stress her out?
Hey, ladies, no, I didn't stress her out. That was love. Hey, I didn't encourage anything. She started going to the gym. She started getting her hair.
Working out in the bedroom.
Okay.
I mean that too, because typically you burn a lot of calories doing that.
But she, it was a lot more cardiovascular exercise going on.
We're all cousins, by the way, to all the viewers and listeners out there.
Into this topic, though.
Well, we'll get into it another time. So let's
moving right along.
So this is the thing about Liqour Run. Like when you mix liquor with a podcast, like staying on topic is going to be difficult. But let's go to the next topic we got on the docket, which is video game news. Big D, you had what game were you talking about that you were anticipating?
NBA 2K Tuesday, October 7th.
Well, let's talk about the genres that we play first off, so the listeners can get a feel of what. So,
Big D, like what genres of video games are you mainly into?
It's all sports for me. Just like I said at the top of the show, Madden, 2K, NBA Live, WWE 2K15. I'm all about sports. I love other games, but I love watching other people play other games.
I can get with that. What about you, Em?
All right, I'm an old school gamer. I love RPGs. I love fighters. I'm trying to get into the action adventure genre, but I'm still like an RPGer at heart. Like I love the old school Final Fantasy, the Breath of Fire, the JRPGs, all that. That's totally me.
Got me hooked.
So.
Well, me, I like stuff blowing up. So I like open world, GTA type stuff. Like I bought my PlayStation 3. I bought my PlayStation 3 solely to play Grand Theft Auto 4.
Hookers.
And as soon as they released the DLC on PlayStation, which is so stupid, they didn't release it on there first. But I played
downloadable content for those of you who are
the additional content. The Ballad of Gay Tony was like the best Grand Theft Auto ever.
I heard about that.
Man, that was hilarious. But I like that, and I like open world stuff. Like I'm big into Minecraft right now. I'm doing a Let's Play on it actually in my spare time, and
yeah,
I don't like stuff that tells me what to do. I used to play NBA Live back in the 90s. So I'm just going to date myself like that. I was in college.
He's the old man in the group.
Man, I played Live 98 when I was in college, and I used to hustle people on it because, man, I was just that good at it. People would call me from other schools, and I would go cross town to other campuses. Man, I made, in one day hustling people on NBA Live 98, I made like a cool $150.
I'm not that good, but I enjoy playing.
I mean, that was back when gas was 99 cents.
Yeah. Devin's
so
a
think about $150
gamer.
back then, man. I was balling that day. So
99 cents.
Video game news. Like for me, I'm not really interested in any video games that are coming out right now.
I mean, I'll be glad when they make some decent RPGs. Like, not to bash, but Square has not made a decent RPG. Or Square Enix, rather. I guess I'm dating myself too, back when it was Squaresoft. They haven't made a decent Final Fantasy since Final Fantasy X-2, and that's a stretch because most people say Final Fantasy X.
Never finished
but I can't get with
Man,
it.
if you don't drink some of that drink.
Look, man, I'm the sober one of the podcast.
Man,
don't
I hate
hate on me.
Excuse me, I hate to segue, but this dude is like straight babysitting. Like,
It is. It's like water.
back in my
It's
college
drink.
days, somebody would have put you in the cut. You'd have had to take like
Someone
10
has
licks,
to keep
man.
this podcast on track, and that falls on the shoulders of me. Don't worry, y'all.
The number one sidetracker is the one babysitting the alcohol.
The diva of the group.
Yeah, he's a big diva,
Ladies and
man.
gentlemen.
Man, dude watches Scandal, so I mean, you know what?
I mean, there's
ladies-
nothing wrong with watching Scandal.
Look, man, I'll
I know
pay
plenty
all
of
my bets, but y'all
males
ain't
who
heavy.
watch Scandal.
That's not a slash at your masculinity. It's the fact that you watch a garbage TV show, but you know.
Now, I actually got into a pretty good argument with my fiance about Scandal. He
Well,
says,
I'm
well,
all
it's
about
dragging
relationship drama.
women's image into the ground. I said, well, first of all,
Olivia Pope is a horrible person.
But-
Let's just put that out there.
but first
she is
of all-
a terrible person.
my opinion of the whole genre about fiction, it's meant for entertainment purposes. So I don't care if Olivia
That's because you're an
Pope-
intelligent person. The average American is
She's a
an
thought.
idiot, so I agree with your fiance.
But
She's a thought.
it's not. Shonda Rhimes didn't mean to
Shonda
like
Rhimes.
uplift black women per se on this type of pedestal. It's meant for entertainment purposes. If I was looking for a role model, the last person or last people that I would look for or place that I would look for is drama primetime television.
Again, you are an intelligent person. You are in the 1% of the American population. 90% of the American population are complete idiots. Complete and utter
Now you're
idiots.
offending like most of our viewers.
I am not offending our viewers. Our geeks agree with me. I don't care if they think we're a little bit edgy on it because we happen to be brown people. Geeks agree. Geeks do not watch this. Geeks do not watch.
I'm as nerdy as they come, and I like my Scandal. It takes me out of the real
Shit,
world
I
for
watched
a
the whole
second.
Shonda lineup. Grace
Yeah.
through How to Get Away with Murder.
She wrote Grey's Anatomy.
She did.
It's amazing.
Guess what? I never seen Grey's Anatomy either.
Well, you're missing out.
He
But
don't want to be great, guys. He just doesn't want to be great.
like I was telling my fiance, I said I don't think Shonda Rhimes meant for it to be expose on strong black women. It was meant for entertainment purposes. I don't care if Olivia Pope was screwing the whole White House.
She is.
It's entertainment. It's for your enjoyment. It's supposed to be plot twist. It's supposed to be the title of it is Scandal. It's supposed to be scandalous. So
Honestly, it
who
makes me feel
cares?
better about myself
I think
after
the
watching
point was to make it be about a television show that gets just as much ratings as the white counterparts.
I do
and
agree.
I think she's done that. She's accomplished her goal. Like
I agree. If
a
it's
TV show with a black main character can get just as many views as a TV show with some other
I don't know.
race.
As somebody who grew up in the 80s and the height of black television was Cosby Show in a different world,
Right.
I guess just me, like you look at the top shows that have black people in it in the past like 10, 15 years, has been Oz and The Wire and stuff like that. I just want to watch a show where the black people are like legitimate characters and they get primetime ratings and they're on a network television
I
show.
want to see
Blackish.
it. I want to. Well,
I don't want it to be a woman who's sleeping with the president.
I just want to
who's
see
married.
somebody who looks like me.
I just wanna see somebody who
Blackish,
looks-
I can honestly say I can't get into it because the title itself is blocking me from watching it.
Me too. I would never watch that show. Blackish. Like I don't.
Really?
I'm all about it.
You know what? I'm not even going to say it's offensive because that's a stupid word to use. Oh, that's offensive. No, your right to express yourself is not negated by my right to be offended. Like, you can do whatever you want. I'm not going to watch that crap, and if there's anything I can do to get off of TV, I will help out with it. Not because I want to infringe on your freedom of speech, but because I just think it's stupid.
What about
Yeah.
Anthony Anderson, though?
I think
I
Anthony
mean,
Anderson
I've
is an
heard all
idiot.
the rave reviews. Like my friends watch Blackish.
I'm
I've heard
not watching that
great
crap.
things about it, but I cannot get around the title.
I can't
All
get
I
around
can
the
say
title
is we
either.
want more black people stuff besides that guy that we won't remain Tyler Perry. But when we do get
Right.
the shows, we don't support them. That's all I'm saying. Think about it, black people.
I mean, I thought it was going to
What
be like
shows
the,
haven't we supported
the,
that
the
have actually
black
been
version
good?
of Modern Family, but
The game?
I can't
The
get
game
into
was
title.
more Tyler Perry scandal type crap garbage.
How dare you?
No, I did like the game up
I still
until
watch
the
it.
season where
I still watch it.
there was a season where it just fell off of it.
Big D is also somebody who contributes as a fan to a Scandal podcast, so we can't really judge
I hate
him on
Watch Scandal. Don't misappropriate this. Like, I hate Watch Scandal because I hate everything about Olivia Pope and everything she stands for because she is a hoe.
But that's what makes it scandalous. I mean,
Well, you know what? Like,
I don't like her.
I didn't know the woman. I didn't know the woman wrote for Grey's Anatomy. That doesn't mean I respect her, but I will tolerate her a little bit more.
Shonda runs Thursday night, and I'm
She
here
does.
for it.
TGIT. Thank God it's Thursday.
Well, you know what? No. In the grand scheme of things, if we're just going to talk about pure economics, I'm proud of the sister because she's actually putting up the numbers, and the money is where her mouth is, and everything. I just wish that her next project just take a little bit of that money, man. If she honestly is tithing 10% to the church, take 10% of the profits and put it towards a show that's actually.
That's what How to Get Away with Murder is.
It doesn't have
Black
to be
people.
positive. I don't even care if all the black people in there are bad people. But just not scandalous. Like, I don't want her to be subservient, like cheating on somebody. Like, just make them like why can't we have like a show like Dallas?
That just got canceled, by the way. Sad face.
For the second time. You know, something like
But
that.
I mean,
know?
the great characters are always the characters who have a lot more interesting
Family
points.
Matters.
Like if there are straight
I hate
laced,
Family Matters.
cut, clean, dry characters, if they even exist anymore in this world, they don't get a lot of play. Like, they're never your favorite characters. Like, in normal TV shows, the great characters who teeter on the line between good and bad are the ones who we mostly go to, because human nature,
the anti-hero type stuff is what is prevalent. I don't watch network television. If I'm going to be honest with you, I watch a lot of documentaries. I watch a lot of YouTube, and perfect segue. I watch a lot of anime. I know Big D doesn't watch anime.
Dragon Ball Z.
In the slightest. Dragon Ball Z is the Bud Light of anime.
I mean, but it's a good starter.
It's a good starter.
Back when we were kids,
because Dragon Ball Z was
Goku.
a good. Dragon Ball Z is like Bud Light. Like, Bud Light is utility beer.
I mean,
like,
Akira
you drink it after
Toriyama
you
makes great stuff. Like Topo #1, if you wanted to get back into the gaming topic, that was the shit.
What?
Topo #1 for the original PlayStation.
I don't know what that is.
It was a fighting game.
I know what Tenchu is on PlayStation 1.
But he did a lot of great animation work for it. So if you want to get into anime, that was where you started. Back when we were kids, Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, and Sailor Moon
wasn't
were
a
like
kid,
the big three.
man. I wasn't a kid.
Yeah, you were an adult already with gray hair. I'm kidding.
I was a kid when Dragon Ball Z was in Japan. I was in college.
Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z?
Dragon Ball Z, because
Or
that's
GT.
what hit. Dragon
GT
Ball Z
does not
hit the
exist.
States first.
Wait,
Dragon
what?
Ball came afterwards.
GT does not exist.
What happened?
It does not exist.
It stopped existing?
What is GT? I've never heard of that.
When they were
No, it
like,
never existed. No one knows what that is.
Wasn't that the
No.
Well, the new age kids know what it is.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. GT does not exist.
I don't know what that means.
It's not part of continuity. It's not canon.
Wasn't
it's
that with
tomfoolery.
Gohan when he was in the
It does not exist. Dragon Ball Z. I like the Dragon Ball Kai thing. Dragon Ball Z is like 90% yelling and 10% content.
Yeah, you can watch a whole episode and not
yelling and
not
hair
learn
turning
anything.
blonde and eyes turning green.
Right. Just a whole bunch of
Yeah,
yelling
that's
and a
it.
lot of
Spirit
exposition about
bombs.
why the guy's yelling, and then very little stuff goes on.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of.
Can we brief, since we're on the anime topic, which I have absolutely nothing to attribute to, can we at least name our favorite Dragon Ball Z storyline? What saga? We'll come back to you.
I always liked the fact that Bulma and Vegeta had a little thing going on.
I like that.
What saga
I
is
like
I
that.
agree.
That's like in Dragon Ball Z.
That kind of was in like the
Was that
beginning.
Frieza?
It began in like the Android
It was
saga.
when Trunks came back with the sword.
Right. So that was
Cell.
kind of leading it. No, well, the Android saga was before Cell.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
Yeah, I
the
don't
beginning of the
remember.
Android sagas when they started getting into
Okay,
that.
but yeah, Trunks came back from the future, and he was actually Bulma and Vegeta's son, and Bulma and Vegeta had like this love-hate relationship. It was awesome to me because I was all into story and content back then because I watched a lot of Sailor Moon, so I was into like the drama part because Serena and Darian were like the it couple for me when I was in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade middle school. So
Now, granted, the only reason I know about Sailor Moon is because of M, but okay.
yeah, because every day at 4 o'clock you had to literally stop what you were doing to get me home so I could watch the latest episode.
It's a
Like I
big
would
deal.
go to Blockbuster back when Blockbuster was still open. rent the VHS tapes of the Sailor Moon
Blockbuster
ending movie.
R.I.P.
Like,
Big Blue
I even
Box.
taught myself how to play the theme song and all the songs in that season on the piano. It was deep and it was real, folks. Like, I was a diehard.
Her thirst was
Save our sailors.
Do not use that term, please. I hate
The
that
thirst
term.
was overflowing with realness, you guys. Like, I'm a diehard Sailor Moon fan. Like, Naomi Tekushi was the only reason why I actually got into drawing and art and all that. Like,
M has
Devin's
a degree,
like shaking her head
M
right
has
now.
a degree in art. And
yes, like I majored in animation. Like, this is my dream. Like, I'm even going to Japan in January, folks. Like, it's real
Sad
and
face,
it's deep.
definitely.
How my love for all things animation goes. Like, I'm a writer, a character designer. I do it all. So it's
Big
great.
D, do you have a favorite anime other than Dragon Ball Z?
Well, we didn't finish our saga topic. See, that's why I'm so.
Go back
My
into
favorite is Cell, of course, the best one that there was. Close second to Frieza, but the Cell saga was what originally got me hooked.
Oh,
to
that was the
Dragon
one
Ball.
with Krillin and Android. 17 or 18 when they got into it.
Oh, see, this is the thing.
when they started dating or whatever.
Some of the
Yeah,
content
like, I
got
was all
lost in
about the
translation
dating.
because she was technically called Android number.
was-
What?
I think she was 18.
She was kind of cute,
But
though.
in the literal translation,
Yeah, she
they
had
weren't
blonde hair.
androids; they were enhanced humans. So the
Whatever.
proper translation should have been
They had name
cyborg
marks.
number 16 or
Apparently,
17.
because I think her and Krillin had a kid.
They had a biological child,
Yeah.
and she looked just like her father, unfortunately, which means she had no nose.
Shouts out to the
and
Knicks.
no hair. Probably.
Your favorite,
Yeah.
Jay, what's your favorite saga of Dragon Ball Z?
Man, I'm
You
going to
disagree
have
with
to.
me.
I'm going to have to say the Saiyan saga. Because that was the first time I
17.
watched it. Like, in the 80s, like, the only way you got exposed to Dragon Ball Z was through video game magazines. Like, I still have issues of Electronic Gaming Monthly with Dragon Ball Z mentioned in the article because that was the only way you got exposed to it.
Oh,
So
I loved EGM.
So when I first got a taste of Dragon Ball Z, I'd known about it, but I didn't know like details. This is like pre-Wikipedia and stuff like that. So
Good job.
I enjoyed all of it when I watched it. I was in college, and there was nothing like recording 5 episodes of stuff and being drunk on a night and watching Dragon Ball Z or watching
How was
fan
life
subs.
without a DVR? Can you describe that to me? 'Cause
It
I don't remember.
honestly was not that different. It was just a little bit more
We
manual
were
because
around when there was no DVR.
I
You
don't-
make us
I don't
seem like we
remember.
were born in the 90s.
I don't
Come
remember.
on.
I
there
don't
were a
remember,
few
like,
more steps.
pre-DVR.
And
There
no
were-
offense
there
to
were-
those who were born in the 90s.
Shouts
there
out
were-
to you 90s babies out there.
There
right?
were a few more steps with VHS, but honestly, it was like the same thing. Especially now, like when TiVo first came out and got big, TiVo used to skip commercials, period. So you didn't even have to fast forward through them like you do now. And the cable companies got upset with that because you were skipping the content. So now they made it so where all DVRs fast forward through the commercials and not skip them. Well, back in VHS was just the same thing. You had to,
Oh, I remember during the wrestling wars, I would record each one at the same time and watch both of them.
yeah, so it was the same thing. I mean,
Days.
the only difference between
We
back in the
never
day
had
with
TiVo.
VHS and DVR was that if it was recording on the TV where the VCR was hooked up, you couldn't watch TV unless you watched what you were recording.
Yeah.
So you had to go to the TV. So it really wasn't that different. You just had the space limitation was per the cassette. So if you had like 160 minute or 120 minute, I mean, you had 2 hours on a tape. They had 4-hour tapes toward the end. So people want to make it sound dated. It really wasn't that different. People just they're just like now. They're stupid. They don't want to read the instructions. So, younger people were the ones who were programming
never
the
read
VCR.
instructions.
I was like, well, thank you.
Instructions are for
I'll show myself
losers.
out, thank you.
But like, going back to the topic of
My
the
dad reads
cells,
instructions.
like I like the Saiyan Saga because it was like my first taste of Dragon Ball Z. Like I used to get anime and I would have to go to
It's spitting from those two sets.
Blockbuster Video later on, but we used to have to go to mom and pop video stores when I was a
Albertsons.
kid.
Yeah, to get the good
Albertsons.
stuff.
Albertsons
Like
had a
Bane's
card.
Video and
Oh my
Turtles
god, my
and stuff
favorite
like that.
anime movie of all times that I would go to Blockbuster religiously to check out. And eventually, once I got my own money, like in high school, I eventually bought it. Fatal Fury was my favorite anime movie. Back when sci-fi was good, they used to have Saturday anime. And those of you who remember that, kudos to you. You guys are awesome. They played Fatal Fury one morning on Saturday Anime, and ever since I watched it, I loved it. I got into the whole King of Fighters thing. I got into the whole Capcom SNK. It was just awesome to me. I love Fatal Fury. I love those characters.
Well, if we're going to segue...
I loved it.
If we're going to segue into that, my favorite anime, especially from old school and renting it on VHS, was Guyver.
Ah.
So M knows what Guyver... If you don't know what Guyver is, Guyver was... It was 80s anime. You should really check it out if you don't know what it is. Guyver, basically, to sum it up... this kid runs across this like alien device, and it was really gory. It was really bloody. So I think kids these days will really like it. But it bonds to him on a biological level, and it becomes an armor that he can call upon. And it's got shoulder-mounted blades and laser systems, and it becomes really gory. And he fights these other creatures that are, transformed into monster versions. So he's kind of like an upper tier type thing. It's the same kind of trope you see in anime today.
Yeah, it reminds me of Escaflowne for some reason.
Escaflowne, yeah, it's kind of like that, or any of these other shows where, one person finds the elite version of the technology and everybody else has a subpar version of it, but they were the uber versions of it until he comes along and starts wrecking shop without having any kind of training or previous knowledge. But it was gory and it was awesome, and I really got into it in the 80s, and I really loved it, and I saw it on VHS, and no one ever... Like, when you get on Imgur and people make these ridiculous top 10 anime, they never put Guyver on there.
Of course,
every now
they
and
have,
then,
like, all this new age anime, and I don't know, like, I've fallen off ever since I've become a mom, honestly. I guess that's my excuse for, like, everything. Like, I don't game as much as I used to, because... being a mom is a full-time thing, and then I have a full-time job. Yeah, I have a tiny human, so... I mean, she's awesome.
M's kid is she's been here before. She's like 4 going on 44.
Yeah, she's amazing, but it makes you fall off. Like, my old school anime favorites are always going to be my favorites, like Darkstalkers. I can't even talk right now because I've been drinking so much. But Darkstalkers.
You're welcome.
Fatal Fury. Sailor Moon, of course. I love the soldiers. I have to. Oh God, I even have the #1 comic. The comic book store used to know me by name because I would call like every day, every week. I was even the kid who used to bring like money rolls to back when it was Electronics Boutique. I shit you not, people.
I remember that store.
Back when GameStop was, before it was even EB Games. It was Electronics Boutique. And I would bring my wrapped up quarters, my dimes, my nickels, my pennies to buy like whatever PlayStation original game was out. Like, that's how I bought. What'd you say?
I said you were old.
He's making age jokes.
I know. Hey, it was deep and it was real. That's when I bought like all my Final Fantasies. I knew that Final Fantasy 8 came out in 99 because I was that. Yes.
I was in college.
I was that much into it because I was a nerd. I was a geek. Geeks unite, and we're like the best people on the planet anyway. But
I know Big D has no favorite anime, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we say Dragon Ball Z? Or
Dragon Ball
well,
Z.
that's because it's the only one. But you could say Pokemon.
You know what? Honestly,
I gave the first 2 seasons. I remember that.
I mean, we loved Pokemon back when there were only 150. Like, we knew all the Poke Raps and all that.
They know that stuff.
Well,
I played all the way up to Silver. I played all the way up to Silver, so it was like close to. I got to like the 200s.
You know what? Actually, you know what? I need to retract Guyver. My favorite anime was Voltron. Which when I actually...
What about G-Force? You love G-Force?
I like G-Force too, but Voltron, like I still have the die-cast lions. Like I still have that thing. And like on eBay, like last time I looked, if you had the box and everything, you get $500-$600 for
Which
that
one
stuff.
was Blaze on? That was
That was on Ronin Warriors.
Ronin Warriors, yes. I love
Powers in the armor.
Ronin Warriors, I love that.
If you don't know Blaze was like a tiger in that anime, and I named my cat after that in high school.
Course.
She lived to the ripe age of 17.
Yeah.
Good old Blaze. But,
I had a black cat, and I named him Zell after one of the characters in Final Fantasy.
Person.
Well, I like Voltron, and like if you go back, like Voltron was like a basically was a bastardized version of Beast King Go Lion. And I went and bought that DVD, and like there's blood, there's gore, there's murder. Beast King Go Lion, like it'll make you look at Voltron differently. So. You know, Big D doesn't have a lot to say. We can gush about anime, and we will going forward. But
please don't let me.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it my mission due to this podcast to check out some of the old, new school anime.
I'm going to help her get caught up,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, and she's going to start up with some stuff that's on Netflix.
Of course. I watched Basilisk on Netflix, and I watched
I let you borrow the box set.
But I watched it on Netflix, so it was horribly depressing, but I did love the
do
beauty
own the
of
box
the animation.
set of Basilisk, and I let her borrow it. Did you ever give that back? I don't know.
I think I did.
You think you probably did? Because I have it in Texas. Okay.
Like, the only box sets I have are Ranma 1/2. I have all 6 seasons, unless there's a 7th that came out that I don't know about because I had a kid 4 years ago. I have Magic Knight Ray Earth. I have Escaflowne.
Escaflowne, yeah, she got me on the Escaflowne, and I was thankful for that.
Escaflowne was awesome. The movie, you should watch it outside of the television series because it's a lot different, but it's the same anyway. But you should watch them both. What other box sets do I have?
4 seasons of Big Bang Theory.
Yes, of course. I have Big Bang Theory. I love it.
Big Bang. Oh,
every year.
Actually, I watch Big Bang Theory religiously. Like, I watch the reruns, and then I laugh like I've never seen the episodes.
You know
that
what?
means that it's a good show when you can watch it over and over again and still laugh at the same points.
Em and I share a grandmother, and our grandmother watches Big Bang Theory, so that's why I don't bash Big Bang Theory. But outside of our grandmother, this is my opinion of Big Bang Theory. It's a show about smart people written by stupid people.
Well, I mean, they have the consultants, like Devin was telling us. I mean, I think it's pretty convincing to me. Because I have
one of my best friends is a college professor, and we went to
I'm
a
not
nerdy.
an astrophysicist or a,
well, he's not an astrophysicist.
A brain scientist.
He's got a PhD in microbiology, and he's tenured, but he doesn't act like that.
That's the word I'm looking for.
That's why I'm here sober, people. That's why I'm here sober.
Liquor kills your brain cells.
Okay, we're segueing way too much. Let's get back on topic, and we're going to get on a topic that you two are definitely going to enjoy.
What topic is that?
The Walking Dead.
All right.
Yes.
It's
here.
And is the new season out yet?
No.
We are 1 week away.
1 week away.
So as of this recording, we're 1 week away to Walking Dead. Out. And me, the big JC, is not going to watch it.
Can we? First, listeners. Last week we made a concerted effort to get John to watch the first season.
Yes.
How far into that season did you get, John?
Man, about 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Well, you said 5 earlier.
I embellished.
Dang.
What was your problem?
There go my hopes.
3 minutes that you saw.
It's like, okay. Huge disclaimer. I will accept, based upon the input of my cousins, that it's a well thought out show, that the premise is very good, that it's not like a cheesy zombie movie. I will give it that there's plot development, there's character development, that you really get involved in the story. But for me, as a gun owner, as a survivalist fan, and as someone who doesn't like to watch things that make you sad, I can't watch this show,
and
man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Walking Dead is not for you.
Can I? Did you see it?
Walking Dead is for people who hate or the depression state that the Game of Thrones give you.
And I hate Game of Thrones.
You know, you've never watched Game of Thrones.
I know, but Imgur made me hate Game of Thrones, and I blame Imgur. Imgur made me hate Game of Thrones. But you know what?
Let's ask, serious question. Did you get to zombies in the first episode?
I didn't get the zombies. I was just watching it, and I didn't like the lighting filters they had on the show. It was depressing.
It's the first season. You have to give the first episode a chance. It's one of the best 60 minutes of suspense.
D, you're my cousin, and I love you. And I'll tell you this. I would rather read the graphic novel than watch the show.
Which is, I don't knock anybody who does that. I've never done that. I'd rather be not spoiled on something because I'm completely spoiled on Game of Thrones. But I understand people who do that. But until you've seen the first episode, we can't really have you knock it because you haven't enjoyed the greatness of which the show is.
Can I explain why?
Go ahead. This is your podcast.
This is your podcast.
I'm letting you explain yourself.
Okay.
Everybody listening right now is like, This guy has lost his effing mind. But go ahead.
Okay, I'll explain it like this. Okay. If you've never heard of Farscape.
Nope, don't know what it is.
Have you ever heard of Sequest DSV?
Never heard of it.
Okay.
Are these TV shows?
These are very excellent science fiction television shows.
Okay.
They ironically happen to be created by the same man, Rodney O'Bannon. He's still active today. But Farscape, the special effects was by Jim Henson's Creature Shop.
Okay.
And Sequest DSV was an undersea... It was basically like an undersea version of Star Trek in a lot of ways. Like undersea version of Star Trek kind of crossed with Road Warrior.
Okay.
And these are two shows that I fell in love with as a young adult, like as a teenager going into full adulthood. And they got canceled before their time.
Mm.
And other shows that I've seen over time, like Camelot.
Okay.
Camelot is a fantastic show that got canceled. So...
Which I was a fan of Camelot as well. But
hold on, D. Before you get into that, the reason why I bring these shows up is my feelings, my emotions when it comes to science fiction and fantasy and that kind of stuff in a television format have been hurt. My emotions have been run through the mud. I've been through the ringer. I've seen, like, Farscape went 4 seasons. It was planned for 5. They just needed one more season, and they were doing good on the ratings. What's up, baby girl? Hold on 1 second, okay? Okay. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Shh. That's M's daughter right there, and I have to talk to her because she's amazing.
Oh,
So
Mari has the announcement that her goldfish died.
we're sorry. Give me a hug. I'm sorry that happened. You gonna be all right? Okay, she's gonna be all right.
Terrible news.
So
The fair people gave him too much food.
they gave him too much
the
food,
fair
and he's
people
gone.
always give goldfish too much food. Warnings to parents out there: do not purchase your goldfish from fairs. Get them from the pet store. I'm sure they give them slightly less.
I got an argument about that because my
I'm saying.
sister had a fair fish for 5 years.
Mine's 4 years old.
Oh my gosh!
At my house right now.
Well, we just got a bad one, Mari. But it's okay because we're
No,
gonna
most
go
of
to
them
the
are
fair
bad.
soon,
That's the rare.
and we're gonna get some more.
But my
4-year-old
emotions when it
Yeah.
comes to sci-fi and fantasy are so, like, I can't. It's like that one person who had the love of their life and they can't love anyone else again. That's how I am with science fiction and fantasy right now. I have loved these shows, and I've seen them not go where they should have gone, and I've loved so much that I just really just don't care
I
anymore.
think The Walking Dead is different in that aspect. Like it's a breath of fresh air. And sorry, listeners,
He's a sci-fi
along
hipster,
with
is what he said.
along with the Liqour Run comes bathroom runs. So yeah, that's why you didn't hear my awesome voice. For
I may be a sci-fi hipster, maybe in a way, but I you know what?
I like Star Trek before it was cool.
Hey, Captain Sisko was the best one, and that cat had to earn Captain. Everybody else had it given to him. He had to earn that job.
I
Just
like Star
don't,
Trek before there was a remake.
just don't watch the last season of Star Trek's Deep Space Nine. Just don't. Just skip it.
But can we address the fact that you have not even seen one zombie on the show yet? So I can't.
And then the realistic thing is, I own guns. I own firearms. I own 3 firearms right now. I've shot multiple firearms. I shoot on a regular basis. I shoot guns like some people play golf. So when I watch these survival shows and I watch people shooting guns,
You haven't watched it yet, though.
Yeah,
It
we didn't even get
irks
to the
me.
part where they shoot
like
the first gun.
like honestly,
Exactly.
honestly, like outside of like a military sniper, like the dude you want in a zombie apocalypse is me. You want me or
You
you
won't
want
embrace greatness, though, so you can't. You can't say you. Might
you
be
want
dead.
me or you want Coleon Noir? But that's a whole other thing. We'll bring up Coleon Noir on another podcast.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
I got nothing.
But yeah, I'm really
He's
excited.
the only black
for...
NRA correspondent on in the NRA. He's from Texas.
That's
too.
the group that Moses was
Token
thinking
guy.
of, right?
Hey, I'm a member, so go ahead.
But we are 1 week away.
But speak about Walking Dead. Go ahead. You're 1 week away.
We're 1 week away. We're 8 days away from our first, maybe our last viewing party together. Sad face. But it will be a great night. Season 5 is going to be amazing.
I'll come to the viewing party.
No, you won't.
Are you telling me I'm not allowed to come? Is that what you're saying?
We don't want your emo.
Damn, cuz.
Eat steak and can't sit here.
And then like, this is stupid. We don't want your peanut gallery.
I will not give negative commentary, cuz. I will not give negative commentary.
Because this
I
is going
think
to be
it's
an
gonna be
hour of
awesome.
greatness.
It is.
We got my dude Rick saying they're effing with the wrong people.
Yes,
and
I wish
were.
they had kept that in the show. Screwing just does not have the same effect as saying the F-bomb. I'm sorry, AMC.
Like,
whatever rules you have.
Let's screw.
Hey, man, be like South Park, man. Push the envelope, man.
Yes,
Push the envelope.
please. But
I'm down with
AMC,
that.
I understand restrictions. I understand all that.
I don't.
But in the zombie apocalypse, you've been through all this shit. Like,
Since
you
I
can
said-
drop a few F-bombs. It's realistic.
Since
Come
we're a
on.
week away, I figured we would both go through death predictions for this first 8 episodes of the season.
Okay, so death predictions. Mine is Bob. I'm sorry.
Because he's black?
Not because he's black. I mean, even though all black people tend to
Him and
die.
Sasha are just about to start Black Love on The Walking Dead.
I
You mean
know,
to tell
but
me
it
they're gonna start
cannot
Black Love?
flourish. It cannot bloom.
Black
I
Love won't
think
prosper?
Bob is gonna die. I'm sorry.
Okay,
they have to
Bob.
kill somebody. And I'm a reader of the comic, so I can appreciate the
Spoiler
fact.
alert.
Yes, and we'll tell you when it's spoiler alerts, but I don't think there's any spoiler alerts
I'm not
so
spoiled
far.
People. I'm not spoiled people.
But I think I like that they changed the character of Bob. I love the fact, love, and just like True Blood, but that's in the past now, unfortunately.
Shouts
but I
out
like
to
the
Slippy
fact.
Stackhouse, another thought.
No, but
Just
shouts
like-
out to Eric and Alcito. Hotness,
Eric-
eye candy. For
Eric
the
was
show.
my dude.
But anyway, back to
R.I.P. Alcide. Spoiler
back to
alert.
Walking Dead. I love the fact that they stray away from the comics, but they do give the comic book nods in the show. I love that
So
because
is
it gives
this
you
in-
something
Is this
fresh
affecting
to
your
look at.
predictions, or is this all just who you think is going to die? Or is
No,
this
it
comic
doesn't
book?
at all because
Yeah.
the comic is like one. I always think that the comic, not the comic, but the TV show to me is like if Robert Kirkman could go back and redo the comics, this is what he do.
I like that.
That's my take on it.
So-
and the comics are, this is what I was going to do in the first place anyways for you guys. I don't watch the comic, or I don't watch the TV show rather.
So
this is
Bob-
what the comic's going to do.
Is that
But I
it?
think Bob is going to die based on the previews because he's hanging his head in one scene.
Okay.
And I don't think you can start a season premiere without something at least one something explosive happening. Or
Okay.
one shocking thing happening. And they already told you that Beth is alive in the preview, so I don't think there's
Shout out to
anything.
Beth.
Yeah, I love Beth. I love her as a character.
I-
Yeah, Beth is amazing.
Shut up.
That girl can scramble some eggs, boy.
Hush. No, she didn't.
Oh, I'm like, did I miss that?
John doesn't know what he's talking about.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna get another drink.
Liquor Run.
Liqour Run, baby.
Woo! But yes, I love Beth as a character. I love the
Less
character
singing, please.
development. I love character development because it tells you what great writers you have on the show. Great nod to what's his face, Nicotero.
Greg Nicotero.
Yes, Greg Nicotero for the great zombie designs. I love how the zombies are evolving. Even in the comic, you saw that the zombies are steady deteriorating. And I love that Robert Kirkman never gave you a reason for the zombie apocalypse. I think that's what makes the show what it is, because you don't spend too much time dwelling on backstory. You know that there's right then and now a zombie apocalypse, and you have to deal with it. It's no time to figure out how it happened, why it happened, who it happened by, when it started. We just know we're in it right now. We got to survive. So I think that this whole DC thing, and no spoiler alerts for the comic book readers or the TV show watchers, but I think it's going to have a lot to do with this season, and I think it's going to be something big in the mid-season premiere.
Okay.
Is my prediction that
Now,
something
here-
big is going to develop. They're going to discover that their whole
They're gonna discover gold in them hills.
or not so much gold is what they were
Silver
thinking.
bullets kill zombies better.
But yes, they're
Embrace
gonna
this
yeah.
Or don't embrace it. I'm excused.
Just roll.
I've got 140 IQ. I'm not that bad.
Oh, that's higher than mine.
But anyway,
So can we talk about something else instead of
Well, I didn't
your,
get my depth predictions.
yeah,
yet.
D has to.
You know
give
what?
his-
You know what? I'm gonna update my OkCupid profile while you do that.
Shouts out to Tinder.
And Match.com.
Yeah, Farmers Ernest.
Give us sponsors.
You
No, I'm
don't
kidding.
have to be lonely. It's farmersonly.com.
For all you agriculturists out there.
I like the Bob prediction.
John Strong.
I feel it's a good prediction, but I want to go big here.
Go big or go home.
And I want
Yes.
to go with a mink because Bob, he could die. Like I said, sad as the black love. I was looking forward to that, but I want someone big, and we know Rick's not going to die. We know
Well, I don't know. Robert Kirkman has said even himself that the series can go on without Rick.
Rick's safe, and so at least in my mind, Rick's safe this half a season. I feel like that's like season finale worthy.
If he was George R.R. Martin, then
Yeah, but he's
Rick's not
but
so
he's,
much
he's,
safe.
he's no railroad.
Yeah, he's not.
So
But I don't know.
Carl Jr. is also infinitely safe to me. So I'm going to throw someone out there that I think is a major character who's fairly new,
Huh? Who could that be?
but who's also colored. I'm going with Tyrese.
Ah.
I think Tyrese bites the bullet this half season.
Now, spoiler alert: Tyrese is dead in the comic books. He got his head chopped off by the governor in front of the prison. And on the television show, who was it? Herschel got his head chopped off in Tyrese's place, and that's my tiny human in the back. But yeah, they kind of switched. Tyrese died a little bit early on in the comics. We didn't get a lot of character development. He didn't go on the whole journey with the two girls and what's her face? Yeah, this liquor is
Who?
Carol.
Oh.
Yes, he didn't make that long journey down the railroad tracks with Carol and the two girls and looking at the flowers and all that shit.
Tyrese.
But yeah, he loses his head early in the comics, and I love the fact that he's still around in the show. But he might bite the bullet.
Personally,
I
my
don't know.
my reason is very simple. This show's been shown to be not the best place for ethnicity, and we've added
What show is?
True. And we've added Rosalita and her fine ass, and her Latino ass. So some black has got to go, and Michonne's not gonna go.
Yeah, it can't be too many minorities in
So
one space.
shouts out to T-Dog. We miss you, T-Dog.
Yeah, we do.
But one black has got to go, and that's who I'm choosing. So
Really?
I hope you don't, Tyrese. But my death prediction to end this conversation is Tyrese for this first half of the
Oh
season.
no,
John.
I hope not. But
Tyrese is the guy who sang the Coca-Cola song on the bus, and he became a R&B singer.
no,
And now he's in Fast and Furious movies.
no, double no.
Oh.
How dare you?
Next topic, moving right along.
Okay.
Oh, but before we segue into the next topic, next week's show is definitely going to be about the Walking Dead premiere. We're going to have a hosting party, and it's also
And I'm going to be there.
Yes, and because this
And I'll be
is Liqour Run
drinking.
Podcast, of course we have to do a Walking Dead themed cocktail, and we'll be showing you viewers, or
I
not
might
showing,
actually drink.
but telling you viewers how to make a
No.
cocktail.
I'll bring the video camera. We can show them.
We can show them then.
I got an
this
HD
is
cam.
great.
We'll hook that up.
Hope we get a lot of viewers by next week.
We'll get 2 viewers. Woo!
Yes, but
baby!
it's called Infected, and it's a lovely martini-esque cocktail that I've concocted myself with some sour apple flavor, some grenadine, so that it looks infected, and then you get bitten and all that, and you're going to get drunk, hopefully, with us. So
Awesome.
stay tuned for that. It's going to be a great
Shouts out to
podcast.
next week's show.
Yes.
So Big
I'm so
D,
excited.
Big D came in the kitchen while we were doing a little pre-gaming.
Yes. And you can't have a liquor run without a food run. So, of course, we're always going to be cooking or eating something either before or during this
Keep in my belly.
podcast.
So Big D came in the kitchen while Em and I were pre-gaming for the podcast,
Yes.
and I had to pre-game hard
I'm on
because,
CP time.
and I had a memorial this morning, so I was kind of down, so I needed to drink anyway. And you came in talking,
memorial with
but
the
you
sports
came
going
in
on.
talking about Age of Extinction, Michael Bay's Transformers,
Yes.
and notice I prefaced it by saying Michael Bay's Transformers.
BAE?
No.
No,
What
Well,
up, Bay?
I would say SHIT, but okay.
I'll drink to that.
Thank you. Yeah, clank it on up. Clank it. Hit me one time. Bam. There we go. But go ahead. You were talking about Age of Stinks movie.
Well, this week was the release of the Blu-ray.
This was Marky Mark, right? In the Funky Munch.
Yeah, that
Mark Wahlberg. Yes.
Yeah, yes. He had a.
I like him. He's hot.
I was a kid in the 90s. He's always going to be Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch to me. Yes, he is the entire group of background.
I think he's going to be Mark Wahlberg with the muscles and the cute face and the tight ass.
He's just a dude from Denzel, with the Denzel movie from Two Guns to Be. But I did buy the Blu-ray this week, and I didn't see it in theaters. I'm so sad. But my review of this movie is
god awful,
unbelievably long. I've had the movie for 5 days now, and have yet to finish it. So this is only a half review, but the hour and 40 minutes I have seen is amazing. So next week I will have a full review, but the first week it was a chore finishing that whole movie because it is very long. But a movie that I did finish this week.
Thank you, because I
you
really
fell
don't need
asleep
to,
on it, right?
Because I really don't need to bash my.
I don't know why y'all bring it up.
I don't need to bash.
Movies you fell asleep on. New topic, really quick.
I really don't need to bash
Round
Michael
table.
Bay on the podcast. But go ahead. What was the next one you were talking about?
Well, movies I fell asleep on.
No. You were actually talking about a good movie.
Yeah. I this week I saw Batman Returns, or is it Dark Knight Returns Part 1?
The animated one?
Yes.
Animated,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Where it takes place with old Batman, where he's like retired. And I must say that both movies were great in my opinion. Part 1 has to do with Batman coming out of retirement, facing a whole gang of mutants. Fisticuffs ensues, and as we know, Batman prevails.
Well, I will say this, that The Dark Knight Returns is a classic story for any comic book reader, written by Frank Miller. And Frank Miller, right? It is Frank Miller, right? I'm not getting that wrong.
No, you're right.
And
Sin City's Frank Miller.
Okay, and I read the original comic, and I think that this one is pretty true to that. I think, in my opinion, DC has found their niche. They found their niche in the animated, like, direct DVD, direct to Netflix type movies, which, for the most part, like, I own a lot of them. And I don't mean I downloaded it or saw it on Netflix. Like, I buy the DVD or the Blu-ray. I own quite a few of them. I own quite a few of the early Batman ones. I own the Batman Superman crossover type stuff. I own a lot of Justice League stuff. So
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, Netflix is good, but like before they were getting on Netflix, like I was buying the disc. Like I believe in DC that much as far as animation and their TV shows. Whereas Marvel has found their niche a lot in the in the blockbuster movie, the live action stuff. Although I was a fan of Man of Steel, but we can talk about that at a later date. So you saying you were a fan of The Dark Knight Returns?
Yeah, the first movie, I was intrigued with Batman being old. I like seeing Batman not being able to just whoop everybody's ass instantaneously. Him struggle, him get winded. That was a new take for me, and it brought a sense of, even though Batman is the most real.
Yeah, because essentially he's just a rich guy with a bunch of gadgets. He wasn't born with superpowers or on a different planet with.
He's a psychopath.
Yeah, he's
Batman's a
which he
psychopath
admits during these movies.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Batman is the ultimate psychopath in that he's not even like Dexter. He doesn't need to kill anybody. He just needs to win. But he needs to put forth exacting justice upon people who defy the law.
And I love how DC and Marvel make these even four-dimensional characters who have so much backstory and who have so much growth to do, who admit that they're flawed characters, because it makes them that much more human. And I think Marvel found their niche when they introduced like the edgy characters who, hey, I might be a great character, I'm not the hero, but I might not necessarily be the bad guy. And then DC had to step up their game essentially to make like
Wolverine. I won't say him.
Well, more like Deadpool. Like he's like, yeah, I kill people, but you gotta pay me money to do it. And Deadpool, for the record, is one of my favorite characters of all times.
Yes.
I don't like the new writer for Deadpool. I like the Deadpool classic more so, but I love that how DC kind of stepped up their game because their characters are so focused on justice, whereas Marvel characters are more focused on self-development, character development in a way.
Yeah.
So it's still making them separate entities. Like you got the Justice League, and then you got the Marvel X-Men or the the Uncanny X-Men or whoever generation you have, but they're still all flawed characters, and they brought them down to earth. Like, they even made Superman not this undefeatable godlike character that he used to be. They gave him flaws. Like, he has a weakness. So,
speaking of Superman, as we transition to part 2 of Dark Knight Returns, it starts with a battle with the original nemesis, the Joker, but transfers to Superman being a sellout and working for George Bush in a way.
Yeah.
And turning on Batman, and they have an amazing fight where once again Batman is a G and comes out on top.
Which is not even a spoiler, man. This stuff's been out over 10 years in the comics, so that's not really even a spoiler. You know, I will say this, like, I had Superman pajamas back when I was a kid, okay? And I'm a big Supes fan and everything, but, you know, they put Superman on this pedestal and everything. We're talking about this stuff.
One of my favorite shows of all time.
I got into Smallville. I kind of lost interest, not because it was a bad show. I just,
you know, say that because it wasn't bad.
I had life stuff going on. It wasn't bad. Like, I've gone back and watched it. So,
Lana, my babe.
I will say this though: the Man of Steel movie. People have poo-pooed on that movie. That was a good damn Superman movie.
It had Stabler in it.
I'll tell you why it was a good movie.
Adams.
I don't even know who that. I didn't know who she was until that movie. Okay, I don't know who these people are.
You didn't see the Muppets? You had to see the Muppets.
I'm old school Muppets, man. That was garbage. Okay, but yeah, that's a whole other soapbox, man.
New topic.
Why are you doing this to our listeners, man? I thought I was.
Dude, I'm old school. Like, I watched the Muppets when Jim Henson was alive. Okay,
of course.
Who's Jim Henson?
What? Don't do that. Don't do that.
Toss this
we'll kick you out of this podcast.
And he is still babysitting his drink.
Oh my God. I'm going to drink it.
Man of Steel did two things for me.
I'm going to drink it.
Man of Steel was a realistic, and I do a big air quotation type thing on that. It did a realistic version of Superman. Like, it's unrealistic for him to be 100% secret identity, I'm Clark Kent type situation, you know. I really like how they did that. I really like how, hey, you know, let's get the biggest, baddest villain outside of Apocalypse. Let's get that out of the way first. Because to be honest, like, the only person that can beat Superman on a power level situation is another Kryptonian. So he went that way. I really enjoyed that movie, you know, but DC has done a lot of good stuff with an animated series. I really enjoyed it. The thing I will say, if you've never really read comic books, if you're not into that, my perception is DC has this focus on good versus evil.
Yeah. It's always about justice.
They always have the great characters, but their big thing is, you know, no matter what team you're on, it's heroes versus villains. It's good guy versus the rogue gallery. It's always that kind of thing. Whereas Marvel is not more complex. It's just people have their own agendas. Yeah. Like the X-Men, yeah, they want to save the world, but they, you know,
they just want to fit in.
But they don't want you like stomping on.
Versus...
Yeah, they don't want you stomping on mutants and kicking their butts. And the Avengers, they'll save the world from global disasters, but the only Avenger that will ever fight street level crime is Spider-Man, and you know, you've got the whole mystical aspect with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Thanos is
Batista.
Thanos is the baddest comic book character.
I'm talking about the guy who played the Green Thing.
No, we're talking about Thanos.
Yeah, I hear Batista played Drax, but for me, like, I'm old school. Like, I've got my
wrestling.
I've got my original Infinity Gauntlet comics from 1992 still in my Mylars with the backboard on it because I was there when it came out brand new.
I don't know what that is.
Exactly. I know all about
rub
that.
Rub it in, why don't you?
Me personally, Drax was as big as the Incredible Hulk when I knew about Drax. So this little
Which
Batista...
Incredible Hulk? The Mark Ruffalo Incredible Hulk or the other two? There's like three Incredible Hulks, aren't there?
You talking about the TV show, the first movie, and then Ruffalo?
The TV show.
That's Lou Ferrigno from The King of Queens. I'm talking about the movie ones. I'm just.
These are the arguments I had about Incredible Hulk. First, people were like, "Oh, the Hulk movie, he's not supposed to look like that," because they were thinking of Lou Ferrigno. They didn't have CGI in the 70s, boo boo.
Of course not.
The
so
Hulk,
he had to be like
the
a
Hulk
beefy
is
dude.
12 feet wide and like 18 feet tall.
How did
He's
his pants always stay on? Was my problem.
man.
I never understood
The elastic. It's always the elastic.
Gamma rays, dude. Just let it go.
Yeah.
I never understood how his.
And just flow with
do you
it.
really
just
want
let
to
it
see?
go.
Do you really want to see 3 foot long genitals? Really?
I mean, I don't prefer it. It's never.
Just let that part slide.
I mean, I wish my pants expanded when I just got bigger, but I don't think it worked like that.
Okay, and then when that one came
I'm
along,
out here for you big guys. I'm out here.
CGI wise, I like the first movies because I'm like, yeah, Hulk looks like that, and I got a lot of arguments with people. I'm like, no, I'm a comic book fan, and that's the Hulk. But him fighting like mutant wolves and stuff, that was like the
Wasn't that the one where the guy
Ang
from
Lee, right?
the Boylan Girls
Are we
was
talking
the
about the
Hulk?
first movie?
The first
Yeah.
movie, like in 03 or some crap like that.
The Hulk who was, what is his name? I forgot his name.
The guy who played him?
Yeah.
It wasn't
Eric
as
Bana.
Yes.
Eric
Bana.
it
From
wasn't.
Troy.
It wasn't as bad as people
From
made
the
it out
Boylan
to
Girl
be.
with Scarlett Johansson and
Okay.
I actually like Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, that was a really good movie,
her.
but that's a
Bunny.
different.
I
That's
love
a
snow
different.
bunnies.
You do.
But that's a different topic.
The Ed Norton one, that was real Hulk.
That was the
some
one in continuity with the movies now.
That was the one
Yeah.
with the girl who was from Lord of the Rings, right?
right.
Is that the Angela Bassett one?
Yeah, Angela Bassett wasn't that one, I think. But this is the thing.
Stella.
Mark Ruffalo, like I wanted Edward Norton to be there, and to be honest with you,
Mark Ruffalo was the best one. Can we just say that?
I'll say this. Because I like Mark Ruffalo, so I'm not disagreeing with you. I refuse to agree with you, but I'm not disagreeing with you.
I respect your opinion.
I
but
respect your
disagree.
opinion. What I will say is Edward Norton missed out big time.
Because The Avengers is one of the best superhero movies of all time.
He was offered that first, and he declined for whatever reason. And honestly, I think he would have clashed with my boy Robert Downey Jr.
I was about to say RDJ3.
Like Edward Norton is a cool guy. I'm not taking
Or
anything away
RDJ.
from him. Like I love him. Fight Club for life. Edward Norton is the dude. He is the man.
Can we all
But-
agree that Tony Stark is Robert Downey Jr. and
Robert
vice versa?
Downey Jr.
He's
of
just
all the
playing
people,
himself. Like I love it.
Can we collectively cry? Because this might be,
Oh,
with the new Avengers 2 movie, this might be the last time we see Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Can we just...
Why is that?
Because of the contract extensions and the money that they're already paying them. They literally had problems with this movie because of the prices of all of them going up. And Robert Downey Jr. headed the collection of all the superheroes to say, you're paying us a certain amount. And it was a big hubbub in the entertainment industry. So this could be the last time we see. There might not be an Iron Man 4.
I couldn't see
I'm
anybody
okay with
else
that.
I'm not.
playing Iron
They get
Man.
better. Well, despite 2, we won't talk about 2. All the Iron Mans are great.
Hey, man, you start off with Terrence Howard, and then you go to, what's my man's name? Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
I love Don Cheadle, so I'm not hating on Don Cheadle.
House
But
of
come on,
Lies
but come
coming
on.
back
We
soon.
go from Terrence
Yeah.
Howard to Don Cheadle because
in
we
the
can't
Golden Palace.
this is my opinion on all of it. Animate the damn things, please.
No.
I hate the live action stuff,
They're
man.
amazing.
Animate it. We won't have all these budget issues. We can get fantastic
You're trying
voice
to give me
talent.
less Scarlett Johansson, and I'm not here for it.
I mean, I love animation.
Do we want her being whatever character she is right now? Don't kill me, nerds. Do we want her being
The Black
the
Widow.
Black Widow?
Yeah, that's it. Or do we want her doing movies where she has 100% control of her mind out here flying and shit? We don't want that. We want her as the Black Widow. Okay? We need her there. We want her there.
My cup is empty.
That's all we need. We don't need... We have the Justice Leagues, all the animated features. I love them. Each week I will try to review a new Justice League movie or animated movie of some sort.
And I fully endorse that.
But to leave the live action movies that are so great that just... It's more than just the movie. It's the whole experience of going into the movie the night it premieres, getting your popcorn.
And it
fighting for the
brings
arm
more
race.
nerds into the fandom. Like,
Yes.
people who don't read the comic books
Filthy
are more...
casuals.
That's true. But still,
Filthy
I mean, it's
Am
more
I not
than
that
what we had.
Effing casuals.
I think I can.
But it brings more people. It opens more people's eyes to the fandom.
No, you know what? No, I've had enough liquor. I'm going to be brave and talk about this. I don't want you people.
You people.
There goes half of you people. You're being racist, sir. What do you mean, you people?
I thought this was an equal opportunity
I
podcast.
despise you filthy effing casuals. You people who don't even know what the Infinity Gauntlet is.
But that's me.
You people who don't even know who Thanos is. You people who don't even
That's me again. Are you talking to me? John, are you talking to me right now? Are you talking to me? I feel this is getting personal.
You people who don't even know what a nihilist is. You filthy, disgusting casuals.
No.
I don't need you. I don't want you.
Oh, Devin, your
I don't
time
like
was
you.
great with
It's a
us.
great podcast.
It was good.
I'm not
Nice
going
talking
anywhere.
with you.
And they said I'm the diva people. I'm the diva of the group people.
Yeah,
That's what
people
they
show
said.
their true colors because a drunk man speaks a sober man's mind. That is indeed true.
As a man with $5,000 worth of comic books,
American dollars?
American dollars,
No pesos.
sitting in Mylars and backboards.
Oh my gosh.
I did an itemized list. I put it in an Excel spreadsheet back in like 99, 2000.
Did they have computers back then?
You filthy
I'm
casual.
sorry. We got
That
personal.
was a joke.
I'm just saying.
Shots fired.
Yeah, my cell phone's more powerful than the computer I paid $2,000 for in 1998, but we will not talk
Just
about
saying.
that. Man,
I remember my first computer.
man, it was 300 megahertz,
It was a
man.
Hewlett Packard, and it had Toontown.
Wait,
on it.
let's holler at HP.
And
My-
Snake and Solitaire, and I loved it.
HP, if you want to support the podcast, holler at your boy.
TRS-80 from Radio Shack.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Thank
My
you. I
glass
shut
is
both of
empty.
these children up and her glasses in.
I remember Radio Shack.
Okay, I'm fine
Radio Shack
with
is
people.
still open, isn't
Going
it?
back on topic, I'm fine with
Are they
people.
really?
I don't know.
Have you? When was the last time you were inside one?
Man, Radio Shack.
When it was next door to the not comic book store.
If you want to
the
buy
video game
T-Mobile,
store that I used to work.
if you want to get
I'm talking shit
T-Mobile,
when I was just in one last week, but I'm just saying.
you can't go to Radio Shack and buy a pack of transistors. I can tell you that much.
What's a transistor radio?
I hate you so much, cousin. I really do.
That's what a transistor is, right?
Yeah,
Am I wrong?
I need a refill
So
on this
Pause for
liquor
Liquor Run for a Liquor Run.
Yes.
I'm going to look around. Okay,
All right.
so
Wait, what am I running for?
I don't know, but I'm good with this right now. Like I'm in a good place.
Kidding?
I'm in a good place. I just insulted. I insulted what little user base
Yeah,
we
we
were
have
actually
like
going.
no fans now. Good job. This is pointless to even keep talking right now.
I got their back because
So-
I like being a noob or a casual,
Yeah.
as you say.
And I'm
Man,
semi-casual. I'm a little nerdy,
She didn't even
but
see half the Avengers movies.
man, she creates content, so I leave her alone. Okay, she's on the anime
my
bandwagon. I'm
excuse
fine.
again. I have a child.
No, I get it.
I have a tiny human who kind of her in itself is a full-time
hopefully we can
job.
see Deadpool together.
If Dead,
Now, Deadpool. Oh my god,
man, that is
I
so
can't
controversial.
even-
I can't. I literally
Yeah.
can't
Ryan
even.
Reynolds from
I don't
Deadpool?
know.
No.
No.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
I have so many hangups. I love
I'm
Deadpool as a character. He's a genius. He's
Ryan
a psychopath. He's crazy. He's
Cancerous.
awesome. He's
Ryan Reynolds.
all of that. But I feel
R.I.P.
like when they came out with the Deadpool game, that was just to appease Deadpool fans. It'll be like, shut you guys up.
Are there
We're
such
not
things?
coming out with a... Yes, there are plenty of Deadpool fans. But they like Deadpool for all the wrong reasons. I love the old school classic Deadpool. The new Deadpool is like an idiot. They don't focus... And I forgot the writer's name. But he doesn't focus
He's
on
more
how...
Spider-Man than Deadpool nowadays.
He's more idiotic than
That's
Deadpool.
what I mean, like, he's more like
he's
comic
more cheesy.
slapstick.
He's more like slapstick. He's more all of that. Like trips
Dead-
over his own 2 feet. Deadpool is a genius in the
Deadpool-
classic Deadpool. Like
Classic Deadpool is I'm gonna crack a joke standing on a pile of 300 dead bodies.
right, and then I'm gonna speak 8 languages while I do that. So it's Deadpool.
He's
is
a
genius.
psychopath. Let's put it like this.
He Batman with no filter or something?
Deadpool would hang out with the Joker and not have an issue.
Right,
But he wasn't necessarily.
but then
bad
he'd
guy.
go and ring Batman's doorbell and still have a completely lucid conversation over the best wine, the best food at the same time. So,
and if Batman gave him more money than the Joker, he would sell the Joker out. If Joker gave him more money than Batman, Batman would be back
because
dead.
he is a freelancer, he is an anti-hero, he is that gray character.
He's
that
not even an
everybody
anti-hero.
loves.
He's just anti.
Yeah, because the more money, the more that's in it for me.
Deadpool.
I don't have a problem with this.
Dead people would kill Wolverine.
Let's not even talk
Let's
about
not
the
say if he
Hadouken
can.
that he did on a female in the comic book. But that's like the genius about him. So I feel like if there is the Deadpool movie, that they're gonna play off that slapstick,
And if Ryan Reynolds is
stupid
involved,
Deadpool that they love. I love that he breaks the fourth wall. I love that he's so many dimensions in that character. But
That's
I feel
'cause
like
of the time
they.
thing he has, right?
Well, yeah, his cancer cells regenerate and
He has
they
cancer?
degenerate
Oh,
at
you
the
were
same
joking- I thought you were
time.
joking about that.
No,
he's got
that's
cancer.
What happens.
I'm a what's a casual?
filthy casual, filthy casual.
Hashtag filthy casual.
Yep, sorry.
Yes, I'm
But
a
yes,
hipster of many types.
His
yes.
cells like regenerate over and over again, and that's what gives him the super strength.
He's got a healing factor.
and all that.
So he has cancer, but he'll never die.
They fused him with the
I can
same
get down
stuff
with
that they
that.
did with Wolverine, to where he has that
Adamantium?
healing factor. Yes, no,
No.
the
just
healing part,
the
not
healing
the
factor, like, they-
Oh, I
animal.
thought he was born with that.
No. They extracted
No.
that and put that into him.
Uh-oh,
Did I do that?
there goes
That was
something.
not glass. That's just beads spilling. They fell
Yeah.
off the candelabra.
That's my pearls and my wedding centerpieces.
So it
that I do
sounded
myself.
worse than what it actually was. So
He's about to die.
If it's
Flashing
red, then
flashing
yes,
red.
it needs a battery.
I want her to die.
But I'll just say this: like
To die.
Deadpool is.
He's a sensitive character to deal with.
He's a sensitive man.
It's going to be
in the
difficult
right
to make
hands, he would be okay.
And
Ryan
Hollywood is not
Reynolds.
the right hands. I'm not saying Ryan Reynolds is not the wrong hand.
He
Hollywood
was
is
the Green Lantern, of course.
Hollywood producers and
I don't
directors are not
care
the right
really
hands.
who plays him, because either way, you're gonna have to put so much makeup on his face to where you couldn't distinguish who he is or not.
The hood covers
The
a
hood.
scarred face.
Yes, a scarred
Casual.
face that looks like taco meat.
It looks like Edward
Taco
Scissorhands.
meat like black dude's hair
meets
chest.
Freddy Krueger.
It looks like
like
Edward
Two-Face
Scissorhands
type.
gave him a
It looks
facial
like
type face.
hamburger meat on his skin.
Edward
Literally.
Scissorhands and Freddy Krueger gave
He
him a
is
facial.
gross.
We're not
He
here for that.
is. His body is deteriorating and trying to build itself up at the same
I
time.
hope they don't get into
So
that.
he's like a walking corpse. That's what Deadpool is underneath the whole.
Yeah, he makes a zombie look
six
like
pack,
a
muscular
Miss America
bicep
contestant.
tricep.
You wouldn't know about zombies because you refuse to give it a chance.
I know
We
about
talked about
zombies.
that previously in the podcast. Go back and listen if you want to hear.
But anyway, there'd be so much makeup piled up on whoever plays him, as long as he breaks the fourth wall and has all the witty stuff. But
Hopefully
in
you'll see
his
him
mind, he knows that he's a psychopath, but at the same time, he knows that he tries to keep it together. But I think it's all in the hands of the writers.
It's all in the
That's-
hands of the producers because they
Yeah.
can veto anything the writers write. So,
But still,
but that's the end of it. So,
Yeah.
does anybody else have anything else to add? Because I think we need to wrap this thing on up.
all right. Well, just stay tuned for next week. It'll be a
Walking
horrifying
Dead
Walking
extravaganza.
Dead everything, because we love the Walking Dead. We're still going to try to get John to watch at least more than 5 minutes of the show. The
whole
first
episode
season,
next time?
at least a whole episode.
Gotham reviews coming next week also.
Gotham reviews, Walking Dead. I may actually watch a whole episode. I will be here for the viewing party if we do the viewing party.
So we're going to do it. The problem is we don't know if we're going to have hipsters there.
And Devin,
I like George Romero's.
I'm going to request a shout out. Can you give a shout out in to your girls from the Scandal podcast, please?
Yes.
Oh yeah, anyone not listening, shout out to the Project Fandom Scandal podcast. We love them, support them. Anything you can do.
Yes, and
Great
I
podcast.
quite enjoy their Game of Thrones. We'll talk about Game of Thrones more later.
Yes.
I love them too. I'm single. I'm in my mid-30s, and I want them to hook me up with one of their single friends who's not crazy. So, yeah.
Good luck among a bunch of nerds. But
So, from the Liqour Run Podcast, I'm your boy JC.
I am M.
Devin Lamar on Twitter. That's Lamar with 2 R's.
Please leave a like, follow, comment, everything, and we will see you,
Rate
talk
us.
to you next week. Peace.
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 That was great.